Imagine if you could only read one book per year. It's a scary thought, right? I'll make this exercise a little bit less intimidating and say, what if you could only read 12 books in a year? Would that change how you choose which books to read? In the 2011 book, Moonwalking with Einstein, author Joshua Foer discusses life before the modern printing press, when writing, printing, and distributing books was much more difficult than it is today. At that time, not only was being literate a privilege, but owning even a single book was a treasure. With only one book to read, readers would reread their books many times over, becoming intimately familiar with them. Fast forward to 2025, and with services like print on demand and how easy it is to self-publish, there are now an estimated 2 million books being published every single year. This might seem like a book lover's dream, but with the near endless possibilities of books to choose from and the online reading community's absolute obsession with reading as many books as possible, this could actually be making the reading experience worse for you and readers everywhere. In his 2004 book, The Paradox of Choice, Barry Schwartz, an American psychologist, makes the case for why having too many choices can actually be a bad thing. It can lead to choice paralysis. This is sometimes also referred to as paralysis by analysis. It can lead to decreased satisfaction in the choice that you made, and it can increase your choice regret, also known as buyer's remorse. Studies like the ones cited in the book have shown that when people have fewer things to choose from, they are happier with the choice that they make. I think this probably comes from the sense of fear of missing out, or FOMO. When you have a huge amount of options, you start to think, is the grass greener on the other side? Was there something else there that I missed? Should I have made a different choice? Now, to be completely transparent, some meta-analyses of these types of studies have shown that this isn't universally true. But I think we can all relate to this sense of choice regret or paralysis by analysis when it comes to our art, entertainment, and recreation. How many times have you scrolled through multiple streaming services like Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, and you just feel like there's nothing to watch, even though between those subscriptions, there's literally thousands of things for you to choose from. I can tell you that in my house, if we don't have something picked out to watch when we sit down on the couch to eat our dinner, we'll usually finish eating before we even land on what we're going to watch that night. How many times have you pulled up your music streaming service only to skip every song after 15 seconds because you just don't have the patience to see if the song goes anywhere? Or how many times do you open up the fridge to a week's worth of food, but you feel like there's just nothing in the house to eat, so you order takeout anyway? Not only can having too many choices decrease the satisfaction of the choice you made, but it can also make you appreciate things less. We intuitively know this to be true because that's where the trope of the spoiled child comes from. Somebody who grew up with an endless amount of choices in their life, so they really have no appreciation for the little things. Hundreds of years ago, when people only owned one or maybe two books, they absolutely cherished those books. Was the writing just better back then? Well, maybe in certain circumstances, but it also doesn't make sense for us to expect writers to spend a long time honing their craft and pouring their heart and soul into a book, knowing that the consumer on the other end is just going to rifle through it and move on to the next one. James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake took him 17 years to write. Marcel Proust's In Search of Lost Time, 15. Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch, 11. And William Gass's The Tunnel, 25 years. Can you imagine taking a quarter century to write a book only to have someone listen to it back on audiobook at 3x speed while they're folding laundry? If we think that the quality of writing overall is decreasing, it probably is because the market is simply responding to consumer behavior. In that way, the whole thing kind of becomes like a vicious cycle. Readers are spending less time with their books, so writers are writing faster, quicker books, which allows them to put more of them out there, which increases the amount of choices we have, which means we feel the pressure to read more of them more quickly, and so on and so forth. So what's the solution? How do we improve both our reading experience as an individual and help promote a healthier reading community? The first thing to do is just be more discerning about the books you choose to read. Choose books that were published 10, 20, 30 or more years ago and people are still talking about. These are obviously deep and impactful works that have stood the test of time. If you enjoy reading new releases, you can always choose books from authors who have previously published and their previous works have stood up over time. Or you can choose books from publishers that are known to publish really bold, daring, and deep works. I find a lot of indie publishers will do this because for them, it's more about the art and less about the profit. If you want to check out some of my favorite indie publishers, you can listen to our podcast episode about it here. The second thing you can do to improve your reading experience and the reading community is to just take more time with the books that you're reading during the reading and after you finish the book. This means not intentionally speed reading or trying to finish a book in a specific amount of time, like I want to finish it by the end of the month so I can post on Instagram that I read 5 books this month. And after you're done reading the book, take some time to reflect on it, join an online forum to discuss it, a book club, or just write a very thorough review, whether that's personally or public facing, like on a platform like Goodreads or an Instagram post. And the last thing you can do is to stop participating in the overconsumption culture when it comes to books. That means taking that book count out of your Instagram bio, stop making those TikTok dance videos bragging about how many books you read, or just simply shift your goals from quantitative to qualitative. If you want some ideas on how to set smart reading goals, check out this video here.